The day has come for the Summer Solstice Festival in Igneous to officially begin. The whole kingdom is wrapped with bright and colorful banners all around, and cheerful noises came from the people greeted their neighbors and being excited for the parade. The sun is at its brightest as it beams down on the kingdom, giving everyone the heat of the summer solstice. Yin looked out from the palace window in awe. Her eyes scouted the area outside the palace where the people gathered to wait for the two monarchs to start the parade. The military remained on standby in the palace grounds. The people waved to give their attention and gawk at their uniforms. She has never seen the people in Igneous this cheerful. She guessed it's the spirit of the festival. But with all these bright colors and smiles, who would not embrace the festival? Well, there is one. Yin is reminded of her task for today and wore her gaze away from the window to walk down the halls of the palace. She stopped when she arrived at her destination and faced the door. Before knocking, she smoothed her dress and felt the crown on her head to check if it was still intact. It felt heavy when she put it on earlier, but now she couldn't even feel it. It was like it embroidered with her head, hence why she has to check it. She's all dressed up and ready for the parade. Well, thanks to Uraka. She hopes the people behind that door are just as ready as her. Okay, she sighs and finally raises her hand to knock, but the door opened before her fists could land on it. Bakugou's red eyes bored on her figure as he looked up and down her. His hand adjusting his collar, he dropped one hand and it bumped the sword on his hip. You're ready? She didn't mean to sound like a question. Why wouldn't I be? He scoffed and walked past her to go meet with the others. He then called to her before he got far. Let's go. Yin shook her head and started to walk, eventually catching up beside him. Oh, there you are. Midnight was the first one to notice them as soon as they arrived. She approached Bakugou and started to check on him, to which the blonde grew annoyed with her attempt to brush back any hair, but Midnight did not budge. Oh, Yin, you look so beautiful. Mina beamed at Yin as she walked towards her. Mina Ashido-san, do you not forget to bow, and please do not call Her Majesty by her name around everyone. Yaoyorozu scolded Mina. It's quite all right. Yin giggled slightly and let Mina pick every edge of her dress as she admired it. Is it heavy? Jiro asked from beside her. Not as heavy as her responsibility, Midnight interrupted and pulled Yin away from the ladies. Come on, dear, you need to go. Midnight placed her beside Bakugou, where the blonde aggressively adjusted his collar and glared at Midnight, trying to warn her not to bother him again. Ooh. They stood before the palace doors. The noise from the crowd sounded like a whisper from where they stood. Yin smiled as she looked at him, noticing that he's grumpy as usual, but less loud and not likely to explode anything soon. After the whole incident with Lady Erica, Bakugou stayed in his room for 2 days. He worked and ate there. Everyone was worried that he might not show up to the parade and the festival will be cancelled, but everyone is now revealed that he showed up, although everyone is still worried about him and his mental state. Lady Erica has not shown herself, as well as the ladies are worried for her too. Yin tried to search for her, but the woman just didn't want to be found. What? He raised a brow at her, and Yin went flustered upon realizing she was staring. Nothing. You're making a weird face back there, Sparkles. You don't usually look up to me with a smile on your face. I don't? Yin looked at him confused. You're not scared of me now, he asked, though there is still menace in his voice, just sarcasm. She smiled again. Well, you're oddly calm right now because you usually are. He cut her off. If you say I'm usually always very angry, I swear I'll blow everyone here to bits. But I didn't. Yin laughed slightly. You were about to say it. No, I wasn't. You were about to. Yin is surprised by the playful argument. Nonetheless, it's good. Bakugou is out. glancing at everyone, but doesn't mean he's fine since he's really quiet. Yin is thankful he came out and did not halt the parade. Still, she couldn't help but look at him every now and then to see if someone shifted his emotions. He seems looking around, I guess, very despite his hard gaze. Yin could feel the tension he has on his shoulders, as if anxiety everybody would show up. Midnight met her eyes and motioned for Yin and Bakugou to stand closer. They complied. Yin felt her hand touch his, and she was right. He is tense. Biting the inside of her cheek, she raised her hand slowly and placed it over the blonde's arm in an attempt to help him relax. "I think it's going to be all right," she said, not looking at him. She kept her eyes by the door, and Midoriya appeared. He smiled at them. "Your Majesty, it's time." The parade was splendid. The soldiers all lined up and marched as Yin and Bakugou rode the carriage. The people waved their hands and banners at them. Yin smiled at them from the carriage as she waved. Loud and festive music accompanied the parade, and people danced with it as well. Yin kept looking out as she absorbed the whole kingdom. The houses were decorated with colorful banners, as well as the streets. They were marched. The parade passed the town's plaza, where a stage was set up for a play. All in all, the people enjoyed the parade as well as Yin. Bakugou, on the other hand, participated with the whole thing, but he never really expressed so much joy like Yin. He rode the carriage and looked at the people celebrating. "Isn't this fun?" Yin asked, grinning widely. "I wish I could step out and enjoy the festivities. For safety reasons, according to R18, we can't step out there," he said, then perked outside. "Why do you even need to celebrate the sun reaching the highest point in the sky?" Yin shook her head as he scoffed. "But this festival celebrates the whole assumption of the kingdom. Oh, and I hope I could go and see the play later. What do you think about the play?" "The usual about the kingdom's history? About damning other kingdoms and expelling the territory?" He smirked in amusement. "And you can't go, it's too dangerous. The kingdom is opened to other kingdoms. Who knows how many assassins are looking out there?" Yin's shoulders sagged in defeat. She was quick to shrug it off and smile again. "Oh well, I'll enjoy myself at tonight's party." She looked outside the window but reminded something and turned back to Bakugou. "Will you go to the party tonight?" "It's not an official ball yet, but just a small party for everyone in the court to celebrate and start the festival." "Beats me," he responds. Got Yin confused. She frowned. "Well, you should come." She then turned back to the window, not waiting for his answer, and waved at the people again. After the parade, and when the sun finally set, Ignis never went quiet as the people continued to celebrate. The palace is currently alive as the nobles finally went on with dinner and the party communications. Yin and Bakugou were the ones to start the party, and after that everyone scampered around as the music plays and bodies twirled and bumped on one another as they danced. Yin had her first dance with Midoriya since Bakugou opted to just sit and drink with his friends. Bakugou was on his fourth glass of wine when Kirishima pointed out his wife. "Oh, look, Yin is dancing with Midoriya." The redhead laughed as he watched the queen let loose and twirl around the ballroom, her crown almost falling off her head. Bakugou took a sip of his wine as he watched Yin dance with Midoriya. "Aren't you gonna dance with her, Bakugou?" Kirishima asked. "Leave me alone, shitty hair," the blonde scolded. Kirishima merely laughed and stood up. "Well, I'll go dance with my wife." Bakugou did not answer and found his eyes on Yin again. This time, she's dancing with Yaoyorozu, Jiro, and Mina. Kirishima showed up and stole Mina away from them. "Dear, Yin dear, come here." Midnight's voice stopped Yin from dancing as she approached the young woman. "Your crown, it must not fall, so you'll just take it off from you for now, so you can move as much as you want." Yin giggled at Midnight as she sounded like her mother. "All right, thank you." She carefully took off her crown and handed it to Midnight, who then walked away to secure it. Yaoyorozu is never this carefree, but 2 glasses of champagne later, here she is. Jiro had to scream because of the music. Yin looked at Yaoyorozu. It is nice to see her enjoy herself right now. Far from her usual reserved self, she swayed to Yin, grabbed her hands, and started twirling. A dance with a man is romantic, but dancing with your friends is much juvenating. Yin laughed. Jiro scoffed playfully. Tell that to Ashito. She jerked her head to Kirishima and Mina, dancing in their own little world. Yin laughed as they continued to dance, the music finally ending and everyone stopping to bow to one another. Their laughs followed after that. Another music played, but Yin decided to get off the dance floor. We need a drink, Jiro said as she followed. Oh, yes, please, some more drinks. Yaoyorozu cheered. Not you, you're already drunk. Nonetheless, Jiro-san. Yin indulged herself with a drink along with Jiro. Midnight came to warn her not to get too drunk because she doesn't want the queen to go around drunk and make a fool of herself. Yin did not have a problem with that. She plans not to get drunk. Yaoyorozu, already drunk, decided to drink more, and Yin leaned on the fact that the woman just wanted to try something new in her life. Yaoyorozu wanted to challenge Kaminari and Sarah in a drinking game, even though she's already drunk. Mina appeared and decided to join them. She insisted, and in the end, the 2 men decided to agree with her. Eventually, both got drunk, and Yaoyorozu drunker than ever. Jiro was left alone with Yin's side to tend to her friend. Yaoyorozu is really out of it, but she managed not to make a fool out of herself yet. Yin applauded the woman for that. Years of training to be a proper lady proven to be effective, even at this influence of alcohol. Your Majesty, Midoriya showed himself, and she suddenly pulled him aside. What is it, Midoriya? I was thinking that tonight would be a right night to introduce General Aizawa to you, but I can't seem to find him, he said in a whisper. Have you seen him? No, I haven't, she answered. That's unfortunate. I guess he took off somewhere to sleep. Yin giggled. Well, the man must not have been any decent sleep with handling the military at all. Let us let him go for now. All right, but we should go and introduce ourselves to him at the official ball, Your Majesty. He would have to attend that one. I'm sure he'll be there. Let us hope he'll attend, because if not, I'll be forced to make it a requirement for everyone in the military to attend. Midoriya blinked and thought for a while. Oh, right, you can do that. Yin smiled and was about to say something, but was interrupted by Bakugou deciding to approach from behind her. Deku, he said in a low voice. Midoriya's eyes widened, and so did Yin. But Midoriya did not dare to turn to Bakugou just yet. And Yin relaxed her face and slowly faced him. Yes, Your Majesty, Midoriya stuttered. I want to work now. Prepare everything in my room, he ordered, and Midoriya immediately nodded. Yin stood still as if she was caught in a crime. Well, she was almost caught in a crime she is about to commit, but she's not sure how much Bakugou had heard. Oi, Sparkles, he looked at her. Yin met his eyes and tried not to break eye contact or do anything that might suggest she is nervous. You stay here and act on my place if anyone needs something, he said, and Yin felt herself breathing internally in relief. He heard nothing. She decided it's no use trying to make him stay for the party now. Bakugou walked away without another word, and Yin let out a real sigh of relief this time. After staying till midnight, no joke intended, Yin reckoned this party won't be ending anytime soon. It could last till morning, so she decided to go ahead and rest. After passing midnight and her friends, she told them she'd be resting now, and they bid her goodnight. Yin walked back to her chambers, and when she arrived, she saw Uraka asleep on the sofa. She smiled at the brunette and wished that Uraka could attend the party as well, to enjoy it just how she did back when she was a noble. She slowly walked to her bed, careful not to wake Uraka. Then Yin noticed something on her desk. She stood up and walked to her desk. To see there's a letter from her father. She opened it and immediately began to read it. In the letter, her father stated that he decided to decline Bakugou's invitation for the ball. It's just not her father won't be coming, but he also forbid her mother and brother from coming as well. Yin sighed, disappointed at her father's response. She decided to strip herself off her dress and go to sleep to save the worries for tomorrow. The next morning, Yin woke up and immediately started searching for a pen and quill. Then she sat down and poured whatever she could write. Is there even a use in trying to convince her father to attend the ball? It will be held 4 days from now, so they still have time to travel. But Yin knows that when her father decides on something, he can't change his mind. Other than that, he probably didn't want to see Bakugou. She sighed. Just then the door opened and Uraraka came shuddering inside. She had something in her hands, and Yin only knew what it was when a bark retorted in the room. Bin! Yin sat up gratefully and scooped the Pomeranian in her arms. I stole him from Lady Cammy when she wasn't looking, Uraraka laughed. No, you didn't, Yin playfully gasped. Yes, I did. She made me fix her bed, even though I told her that I should go and attend to you. Well, Yin smiled, if she ever asks where the little guy went, let's pretend we don't know anything. Uraraka mysteriously smiled and moved to the cupboard to get a dress for Yin. Aren't you happy to be back here? Yin cooed at the dog, raising him up and pooping his nose with hers. She laughed when he stuck out his tongue and licked her nose. This reunion is cute, Your Majesty, but we need to get you ready. I believe a very important guest will be arriving, Uraraka said, holding a dress she picked. Ooh, that's pretty. Yin admired the dress. Well, I have taste, Uraraka smirked. Yin shook her head with a grin. And I've already prepared a bath for Your Majesty. Uraraka glanced at the Pomeranian for a moment before looking at Uraraka. Can I take him with me? In the end, Yin managed to get Uraraka to let Bin bathe with her. However, the brunette had to remind her not to stay too long in the bath because they're going to be late. When Yin finished her bath, she dried out the dog already and only let him go when Uraraka dressed her. As soon as Yin sat down in front of her vanity, she had Bin in her arms again. She just couldn't let him go. Yin decided she didn't even need a child anymore. A dog is enough. Look at him. He's really feeling it, Yin giggled as she continued to brush the dog's fur with a brush. Uraraka, on the other hand, used another brush to fix her hair. The brunette chuckled and began trying to do her hair up. After she's done, she ushered Yin to get up and let go of Bin to spray perfume on her. The brunette did it quickly. Come on, Your Majesty, we're going to be late. Uraraka started to drag her out of the room. Oh, wait a minute. Yin stopped and went back to the Pomeranian on her bed. She kissed and nuzzled his head. Goodbye. The Pomeranian barked and Yin walked away. Keep an eye on him, okay? She said to Uraraka before leaving. All right. And Yin was off to the throne room. When she arrived there, Midnight and the others lined up to meet and greet, but there's no Bakugou in sight. You're almost late, Midnight remarked as soon as Yin stood by her side. I got occupied, she said without thinking. Immediately, Midnight looked at her with slight wide eyes, and her mouth almost curving up into a knowing smile. Yin looked at her dumbfounded as she shook her head. It's not what you think, she assured. Where's Bakugou? Midnight asked, trying to trick her. I don't know, in his room, I think. You don't know, R. Yin sighed. I really don't know, Midnight. Midnight just smiled and looked ahead. All right, maybe he's in his room. Being a shut-in again, Yin breathed out and faced the doors. Apparently the guest is very important, and by very important, it means that it's another monarch from another kingdom who came for the Summer Solstice Festival. They shouldn't be here this early because the only thing they'll attend is the ball. But everyone told Yin this particular monarch likes to be early and do stuff, whatever that is. Here we go, Yin heard Mina say, and the others let out a sigh as knowing what to expect already. Your Majesty, Midoriya suddenly came up behind her. I have to warn you, whatever he says to you, don't lose your temper, okay? You must not. Midoriya was cut off by the doors opening. A soldier walks in and announced the guest. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to give myself some time because I hate this man so much. Also, I'm so sorry that I'm doing this fast. This is like a 30-minute reading. But King Manoa, I don't know how to say his name. Manoa Mineta, I think. Minette from the west. A blonde man in a fancy uniform and robes walked in together with a ginger woman wearing a armor who looks like to be the King Manoa's knight. The king's lips curved and Yin would have told herself he was smiling, but upon closer look he was smirking smugly. His eyes half-lidded. He's not that bad at first glance, so what is everyone sighing about. Prepare yourself, Yin, and remember, keep your composure, Midnight whispered, and Yin looked at her with raised brow. She suddenly looked back to King Monoma when he and his knight stopped before them. The king needed not to bow to Yin, but he offered a small dip, whilst his knight lowered herself. King Manoa, Yin stated, I am glad that your travel has been well, and that you've arrived. King Manoa suddenly made a weird noise, cutting off Yin. Huh? Is this what Igneous has become? What's wrong with your walls? I thought they're supposed to be golden. Has the paint started to chip? The sun always rises on Igneous, they say, but this room is so gloomy. How is this even possible? The sun can't even reach here. And where is your king? Oh, right, I forgot he's so gloomy as well. Igneous, who Eastern Kingdom, where the sun always rises, has become so gloomy. Whatever happened here? Yin is taken aback by a sudden psychotic laugh. Now she knows why everyone is acting weird. Your Majesty, if you could just give me your permission, I can punch him right now, Kaminari whispered to her. Yin wasn't able to answer, as her eyes still on the king, Monoma, who continued to laugh like a maniac. But then his knight came up, raised her hand, and hit the king on the back of his head, and he fell to the ground. Yin gasped while the other's sweat dropped to Midnight's side in relief. I apologize for that, Your Majesty. The knight apologized and placed her knee on the ground while her hand clutched on the robes of the King Monoma. My name is Initsu Kendo. His Majesty had a great travel and appreciates your hospitality. We were looking forward in our stay here in Igneous. Really? What's the punishment if a noble hits a monarch? I think I can handle it. Yin heard Kaminari whisper to his friends behind her. Idiot, he can cut off your head. Zero scoffed. Yin cleared her throat. I am pleased to hear that, Kendo, she said, but first let us take King Monoma to his room to make sure he's all right. Oh, him? Kendo blinked, stood up and dropped Monoma on the ground. The king made an oof sound, but he didn't move. He's fine, Kendo mentioned, for unmoving Monoma on the ground. But we shall take that offer, Your Majesty. Thank you. Yin nodded as she grinned nervously and was about to order the guards to carry Monoma, but Kendo already got ahead of him and dragged him out of the room. Everyone let out a sigh of relief. Yin laughed nervously. Well, that was fun. From what she had gathered, she thinks it's best to avoid King Monoma for now. Oh. Hey guys, sorry if I was speaking a little way too fast. This book is a 30-minute book, and I'm sorry I don't want to make 3 parts, but I'm finally back, and technically schedule is going to be a little different since, well, today should be Sunday. Hopefully this is being posted on Sunday, but my schedule will be different. You're not going to have an overhaul episode until next week. But anyways, I'm so sorry I was gone for so long. I passed, guys. So maybe in the future I'll be driving. Well, I am going to be driving, so. But if you guys didn't know, where I live, it takes technically 3 years for you to get a driver's license. And I took the quick one because even though it costs more, I took the quick one because I'm not working 3 years. And I don't think you guys would appreciate me being gone for 3 years. So, anyways, here I am again. I love you all so much. Make sure to take care of yourselves during this summer, if it is summer for you guys. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Bye! Oh, by the way, there is a part 2 to this, so please go to it.